गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Jnaneshwari Bhavartha Deepika, chapter 18, verse number 12 and 266th OV. 266th? Yes, 266th OV. And here, what is he saying? Jnaneshwar Maharaj, he says, O greatest among warriors, those who have been able to relinquish action in this way, through knowledge, become free from the sufferings of birth and death, and when their vision, through such relinquishment, reaches the self, how can the actions appear different to them from the self? Here is a very important, pertinent point that we need to remember, need to observe. And what is that? When Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, when your vision transforms, changes, on account of what? On account of relinquishment. Is that happening within us? Are we giving up things as we are maturing, as we are growing, as we are moving through life? Or are we continuing to hold on to what we think is ours and just to feel good? We do a bit of yoga, we do a bit of japa, we do a bit of puja, we come to satsang. Understand this. Who have been able to relinquish action in this way through knowledge become free from sufferings. Only when we give up, then those things, those beings will not have a sway over our mind. Then this mind is available to the knowledge. Otherwise it's busy with the thoughts. Thoughts about what? Thoughts about the world. It's busy with memorizing Bhagavad Gita. It is busy with Vedic chanting. It was necessary in the beginning. But tyage naiket amritatva manashuhu. Immortality is gained only by giving up. So, as we are moving forward in our life, and you have got no choice, you have to move forward. We have got no choice. But where the problem and misery comes, life is pushing us forwards, but we are holding the back. What has to be given up, which cannot be changed, we are holding on to that. So give up, give up, give up. Then alone we become available to the knowledge. Knowledge does not come from the books. Knowledge is our nature. That knowledge we are talking about. It has to be. Who am I is not by reading Maharishi's books. Who am I must be a natural invocation within our heart and mind. But that will happen only when we have delinked ourselves from everything that we have considered to be real, which is relative. See? And when their vision through such relinquishment reaches the self, how can the actions appear to them separate from the self? See? From the self point of view, everything is self alone. It is the self alone which is appearing as if as multiplicity of thoughts. It is that water alone which is as if, that is very important, as if. Water is water. From its point of view, no ocean, no wave. But yet, it supports the expression of wave and ocean, which is not other than it. They cannot exist independent of the water. Just as the sun supports the relative existence of light and darkness, but itself is neither affected by the light nor affected by the darkness, because from sun's point of view, both are there is nothing like that. Then what is there from sun's point of view? I am. What is their point of view from water? I am. Similarly, those who are realized while living, from their point of view, people seem to see them in the world. Just like you say that because of the sun the day and night is there, because of the water the ocean and wave is there. People say because of the reality the Mahatma is, we see the Mahatma as functioning in the world. But from Mahatma's point of view, he is one. He does not see action. Remember some verses ago I was talking about at one meant with the action. That is what it is. You lose. Then the doer and the done is not separate. It is one and the same thing. How can wave ever have an independent existence other than the water? Similarly, how can the doer have an independent existence other than that supreme reality? Everything is pervaded by the self alone. When the wall collapses, the paintings on it also become reduced to dust. Will the darkness of the light outlast the rising of the sun? How can a shadow exist without a figure? If there is no mirror, where will the face get reflected? How can one dream after the sleep is over? And will not all the talk whether the dream is true or false becomes redundant the moment you wake up? Just as we do not give a second thought for the dream, the realized masters does not give even an iota of importance or value to the waking, because then for him the waking is equal to dream. It is the waking dream. For you, dream is dream. For him, waking and dream both are dream. And therefore, it's not worth indulging in it. Otherwise, there are books deciphering your dreams. Lage raho. Till here we did last week. Now from 266th OV. तैसे गा संन्यासे येणे मूळ अविद्येसीची नाही जिणे मातियेचे कार्य कोणे घेपे दीजे म्हणवनी संन्यासी ये पाही कर्माची गोठी की जेल खई परी अविद्या आपुलाम देही आहे जय का जय करतेपणाचे निथावे आत्मा शुभाशुभी धावे दृष्टी भेदाची ये राणीवे रुचली से जय तैतरी गा सुवर्मा विजावळी आत्मया कर्मा अपाडे जैसी पश्चिमा पूर्वेसी का ना तरी आकाशा का आभाळा सूर्या आणि मृगजळा विजावळी भूतळा वायुसी जैसी. He says, with the relinquishment of the fruit of action, the ignorance ceases, and then who can receive or dispense the fruit of actions? The fruit of actions is the product of ignorance. How come? Someone tell me, how come? How come fruit of action is product of ignorance? Because, nobody is answering, because avidya leads to kama, kama leads to karma, karma will always give you karma phala. कुछ अटक गया. This is the way. And therefore, here Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, with the relinquishment of fruit of actions, ignorance ceases. We are not allowing the cycle to continue. We have put a stop by not accepting the fruit of action, by not looking forward to the fruit of action. The moment you begin this, that very moment the process of removal of ignorance has started, meaning purification has started, meaning the sun is rising, the darkness has to recede. Darkness is ignorance, night is ignorance, it has to recede. So now that such a simple step Bhagwan is giving here. Give up karma phala. Have no expectation. And once ignorance ceases, then who can receive and or dispense the fruit of actions? What is the result of purification? We saw that in the previous verse. Where it was told that the one who gives up the fruit of action, then he is able to, his vision changes.
Body disidentification.
His vision changes, and body disidentification, yes, but his vision changes, and when the vision changes, then he doesn't see the karma as separate from the self. Self alone is everything. Self alone is everything. Then how does he look at karma? How does the ocean look at the movement of the waves? How does the
as an expression of self?
Hold that thought, okay? How does gold look at the ornaments? Can the gold look at ornament separate from itself? Can the water look at the waves or ocean as separate from itself?
No.
Can the one who has come to know the self look at activity, thoughts, waking, dream, deep sleep? They are also happening to him, no? Does he see them as separate to himself, to the self?
No.
अरे यार ये क्या आ रहा है? Remind me later. Does he see it separate? No. You know the dream was happening to you, but do you give any value to the dream? No. Exactly the same way. Why you don't give value to the dream? Because you have woken up. It's insignificant. You know it was there. It was a phenomena. But you don't spend time indulging in it, thinking about it. What would have happened if I did that? What will happen if I do this? If I had not done that? Nothing. Everything has become insignificant. To that extent, the waking becomes insignificant to the one who has come to know or come to abide in the self as the self. देखो, then all talk about actions and their fruit ceases in the case of a relinquisher or such a person who has come to this point of complete disentanglement from the karma phala. He has cut the cord of expectation, which has led to the purification, which has led to the rise of knowledge, the dawn of knowledge. Whether you take it that he has come to abide, or you take it as the dawn of knowledge, even then he will not go back to the darkness. He will not go back to the ignorance. He will not go back to the karma phala. See? But so long as ignorance exists in the mind, so long as the soul undertakes good or bad actions with the egoistic feeling that he is the doer, and so long as his vision continues to see distinctions among living beings, the notion of duality, O intelligent Arjuna, exists between the self and the actions and the action. So long as ignorance exists in the mind. What is the ignorance here? Incomplete knowledge. What is incomplete knowledge? This idea of incomplete knowledge is only given by Jnaneshwar Maharaj. You don't see that anywhere else. See? So what is this incomplete knowledge? You are looking at the reality as if it is broken up. What is it broken up as? It is broken, that one reality is broken up as I and you. It is broken up as the inert and the sentient. It is broken up as birth and death. It is broken up as past and future and present. It is broken up as waking, dream, deep sleep. It is broken up as totality, individuality. In other words, it is broken up as multiplicity of thoughts. It's the same reality, isn't it? Mind under the spell of ignorance means what? That mind which is available to multiplicity, and considering that multiplicity as real, that form as real, that thought as real, that past as real, that birth as real, that death as real. This is where we are making the mistake. This is the ignorance of the mind, where the sense of otherness is taken as the baseline, as the denominator. We are not taking the reality as the denominator. We are taking the sense of difference as the common denominator. That this is a gone fact, that I am not you, you are not him, he is not her, and I am not the computer, computer is not the laptop, laptop is not the phone, phone is not the light. This is living in ignorance. Now you cannot do anything about the world. Laptop can, we don't have the power to convert a laptop into a phone. But if you take it for last 20 years, slowly now the whole laptop has come into the phone, isn't it? It is happening, but you don't have the power. Someone has done it. So we have to go, you can't avoid experiencing the world or going through the world. But what are you giving validity to? Are you giving validity to the differences, or are you giving validity? Initially, it is only a conviction, no? Are you giving validity to the oneness? And this shift has to come about. And for this shift, we need to first give up the karma phala so that we can purify. When karma phala is given up, automatically the doership also will go away slowly. When doership goes away, then you are with yourself. The vision transforms. The ignorance का सफाया हो जाता है. So long as ignorance exists in the mind, so long as the soul undertakes good or bad actions with the egoistic feeling that if I don't do it, I was just talking to one lady just half an hour ago. She called from India and she said, Hari Om Swamiji, I was just about to have my salad dinner. I said, आप तो कभी मेरे को कॉल करोगे नहीं, तो मैंने कहा मैं ही कर लेती हूँ टू गिव यू एन अपडेट व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. She came with me to one of the yatras sometime. And बातें करते करते this is the topic that came. She said, I have to take care of my in-laws. They are very, very old. The mother-in-law is very alert in the mind, but bedridden for 5 years. The father-in-law is 95 something, but still reads books and but he's going through the pains. Still he wants to live another 5 years. She overheard him saying that. He says, अभी 3-4-5 साल अभी और हूँ मैं. देखो, never learned the art of relinquishment. Shabri को देखो, she waited for her entire life. She waited for Ramchandra ji to come. And when he came, he gave her the Navavidha Bhakti and she relinquished her body there and then. There and then. Why? She was paripakwa, meaning she was matured. This is maturity. If death comes tomorrow, are you ready? Our situation is like that Ajamil. Well versed in the scriptures but attached to the family and wealth, and thrown away by the society. Outside, even though a Brahmin, thrown out. Eventually the death came. Luckily he gave his youngest son named Narayan, and at the time of death, because he was attached to his youngest son, I think 7th, 8th, 9, 10 kids. The Narayan, the Narayan said, "Hey, Dutas, see, someone is calling me, go." Two things came at the same time. What is that? The Narayan Dutas came because someone called Narayana, so we have to take him to Vaikuntha. But Yam Dutas also came. They said, "Oh, how can you take? He has done so many wrong things. He was a Brahmin and he fell in love with he had desire and he gave up his Brahminhood. He no longer searches for the Lord or lives for the Lord. He lives for lust. So he has committed sin. We are taking him to hell. Yamaraj has sent us. And this Ajamil is watching both. The Narayan Dutas, Vishnu Dutas are arguing with the Yama Dutas, and Yama Dutas arguing with Vishnu Dutas. And eventually, as this argument heats up, the Yam Duta says, "You stop here, you don't take him. we will go and find out from our Yamraj what is to be done with this soul. So Yamraj says, oh, did he take Narayana's name? Oh, okay, okay, leave him. He doesn't come in uh, our field of influence. So they came back and they told Narayana Dutas, okay, you take him. In a flash of a moment, those Dutas told him, now that you have got a break, because by mistake you took our name, to our Lord's name, we give you some more time. Correct your life, do your tapasya, invoke the Brahmin qualities of sadhu, of brahmacharya, of relinquishment, non-attachment to the family, then you can come to Vaikuntha. Otherwise, we'll hand you over back to the Yamadutas. There and then, Ajamil corrected his life, went away into the jungle and lived in isolation. Why, wow, what a wonderful story. But we will not follow it. We don't have to go to jungle. We have to just stop giving value to everything. Bring your attention to that unifying principle, which is the self. At least become convinced of it. At least become convinced of it. Once you become convinced of it, automatically you will think about it all the time. Right now you are convinced about the multiplicity of the world. You are convinced about COVID. You are convinced about when the COVID finishes, I am going to travel. When this happens, then I will do this. Then when I will do this. We have got a big list when the COVID finishes. What if it doesn't finish? What if for next 2-3 years it doesn't happen? Are you going to live miserably till then? Because your wishes are only increasing, and wishes are always about the world. So as I said, it is one reality. But mind is in ignorance when it gives validity to the differences, validity to the sense of otherness, validity to the multiplicity, and seeks fulfillment through that. And the first step to correct, to counteract the ignorance is karma phala tyaga, karma phala sanga tyaga. Attachment to the results of the action. And slowly, slowly, trust the process. You cannot make it happen. It will only happen when purification happens. Of what? Of the mind. You can't force your mind to think that my attention is going to be on the one. You will go crazy without purification. Like today in the morning, someone called me. One young boy. Some of you may have met him. He was a drug addict, and he is reformed now. He is totally into Vedanta. And today he says, Swami, you know what? When I was meditating, I got an intuition. And what is the intuition? I should put money on Bitcoin. And he put $10,000. I said, what happened? You lost it all? He said, no, I made 100,000. These things happen as mind will purify. Solutions to your, if there is a desire with regards to the physical world, and some solution, some desires for Bitcoin, for shares, for this, for lottery number, all these things will come. Are we going to succumb to that? Or are we available to that oneness of experience? If I go after that, that means I do not trust that one, that it will take care. Because there is a desire, I must do something in order to survive. If this is the way, then we have gone the wrong way. So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj says that good soul undertakes good or bad actions with the egoistic feeling, means I need to invest, I need to survive, I need to take care of my future. What will happen afterwards? There's fear. It's question of survival. Who is trying to survive? The one? No. Then who? The one, the Mithyatma, the one who is identified with the body. He is trying to survive. That he is the doer, and therefore he keeps where the fear comes in, where survival comes in, where incompleteness of experience is there, then there the karta bhav automatically comes. Nobody, you did not decide that I am going to be a karta, isn't it? Did you decide? It started. It started. Egoistic feeling that he is the doer, and so long as this vision continues to see distinctions among living beings, the notion of duality, O intelligent Arjuna, exists between the self and the action. Just as there is distinctness between the east and the west, or between the sky and the clouds, the sun and the mirage, the earth and the wind, or between the river and the rock in it. Okay. East and the west. From the space point of view, where is east and where is west? In the space only, no? But from space point of view, where is east, where is space says I am everywhere. From individuality point of view, there is male, female, past, future, birth, death, action, no action, result, no result, likes, dislikes. This vision continues to see distinctions among living beings. The problem is not body identification. Till now we have been telling you, give up body identification, give up body identification, give up body identification. I don't know if I said this before, but we don't need to give up body identification. Body identification is not the problem. Then what is the problem? Someone tell? What is the issue here?
Yeah, only this body is a problem.
यार तू इधर आ जा, give me a break, give me come and take some lectures.
I'm just blabbering, Swamiji.
At least you are blabbering, right? You are here listening, it's going in. Yes, only this body is the problem. And because I am considered myself only to be this body, therefore the distinctions among all living beings that they are separate to me exists, isn't it? When you were in the dream, same disposition, I am the person and the whole world in the dream is separate to me. But when you wake up, what is your experience? That the dreamer was also the mind, the dream world was also the mind, the dream experience was also the mind, isn't it? All the beings in the mind were nothing but your mind. Acha, my mind only became everything. Arey yaar, unnecessarily I was getting afraid of the projection of my own mind. Same is happening here also. Wake up. Waking up doesn't happen by ourselves. I am going to decide to wake up and I'll wake up. It doesn't happen. It requires grace. That grace can come as the scriptural words, it can come as a mosquito bite, it can come as some incident in your life, it can be in Tulsi Das Ji's life. The incident to wake up was he was so lusty towards his wife because he had never experienced any woman in his life. When he was born, his parents passed away. He was brought up by a Guru Maharaj. There also no wife, he didn't have a wife, so only male. As he grew up, it was only a Gurukula with all the males. Then he was a teacher, teaching students, all males. And then he got married. First time the wife, "Arey, ye kya cheez hai?" And he got so besotted with her, he couldn't live without her. And he crossed the Ganga, which was in Spate. He caught hold of a carcass of a cow, of a dead animal, crossed the river because she had gone to her in-laws after marriage, and he couldn't imagine living alone without her. Went there, climbed the tree into the room, and the moment, "Darling, see who's here." You must have also dreamt of doing something like that when you were young. And the wife woke up and she got disgusted. She said, "The amount of effort you put for this body, if you had put all this effort, this fearlessness to think about the Lord, Lord would have given you darshan. He would have graced you. And you came for this body through all these difficulties." That was his waking up moment. That was his waking up moment. What is yours? So grace can flow in any way. Are we available? Because grace is always, it is not a special event of grace. Grace is always. Its only question is just like the Wi-Fi is always. I have to connect the Wi-Fi, the laptop or the phone to the Wi-Fi. Then I can access the grace of the Wi-Fi. Can I access, can I see you, talk to you, and I give you importance and I don't give importance, I don't need Wi-Fi, man, to do all this. Then I cannot talk to you. So the grace of Wi-Fi. Same way. And Wi-Fi is always, I have to put in the password. Exactly the same way. The meeting ID and the password. Who? Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Take the name. Remember him. And the consequence of that, the symptoms of that, is relinquishment. Why are we doing that? So that from the multiplicity our attention goes to the divinity. That's all. It's one of the tools, then taking the name of the Lord. Here we are not talking about taking the name of the Lord. Here we are talking about relinquishment of the result. Just as there is distinction between East and the West, East and West are separate. But really speaking, it's one space. But our attention is on East-West. When our attention is East and West, I don't pray looking at the West. Why? The other people look at the West and then pray. Then what do? I look at the East. Why do you look at the east? Oh, I am a Hindu. Acha? Where is it written that you should look in the east? Look, Manusmriti, this text, this text. But what is the ultimate authority of the scriptures? Gita, Upanishads, and Brahma Sutra. What do they say? They say wherever you face, that is the east. Not where the sun rises, that is east. Wherever you face, that is the east. Acha. Then, what do I do? Don't make it into a problem. Don't be obsessed with it. This is our lot. So yes, for Vyavahar purpose, for a daily transaction, we need east, west, north, south. Similarly, between the sky and the clouds, there seems to be a distinction between the sky and the clouds, but is it really? Can the clouds be without the sky? The sun and the mirage, can the mirage exist without the sun? In the middle of the night, can you have a mirage? And the river and the rock in it, between the water and the moss which grows on it, see? Or between the lamp and the soot, literally, through the both are connected, can we call the soot lamp? I'll just read it from 271st verse onwards. These examples are continuing. पांघरवनी नईचे उदक असे नईची माझी घडक परी जाणीजे का वेगळिक कोडीची ते हो का उदका जवळी परी सिनानीची ते बाबुळी काय संगास्तव काजळी दीपू म्हणो ये जरी चंद्री झाला कलंकू तरी चंद्रेसी नव्हे एकू आहे दृष्टी डोळ्या विवेकू अपाडू जे तुला नाना वाटा वाटे जातया बोधा बोधी वाहातया आरसा आरसा पाहातया अपाडू जे तुला पार्था गाते तुले निमाने आत्मे निसी कर्मसिने परी घेव विजे अज्ञाने ते कीर ऐसे. He says, continuing with the examples, the water and the moss which grows in it, or between the lamp and the soot, literally although both are connected, can we call the soot lamp? No. It is because of the lamp that the soot has come. Or between the moon and its spots, or between the vision and the eyes, or between the way and the wayfarer, or between the current and the water which flows in it, or the mirror and the one who looks in it. So is the action distinct from the self. Now here, this is when we saw our ईशावास्यम इदगम सर्वम यत्किंचित् जगत्याम जगत तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीताहम् आगृधकस्य स्विद्धनं कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगं समाः. The first verse was for the man of knowledge. The second verse was for the man of ignorance, who considered himself to be the body. For the man of knowledge, for the man who has renounced the oneness of the vision, was the instruction. Ishavasyamidagam sarvam. And the one who is still attached to the body, is there a way for him to come to this Ishavasyamidagam sarvam? Yes, it is. Then kurvanneveha karmani. See that you are not the doer, all the actions are being performed by him only. Or if you are the performer offer all the actions at the feet of the divine. Take all, whatever comes, take it as the prasad. See, same thing was told there. So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is very clear. Just as sky is not the clouds, the water is not the current. It seems to be separate, but current cannot be without water, but water can be without current. Sky can be without clouds, but cloud cannot be without the sky. And so on. The soot cannot be without the lamp, but the lamp can be without the soot. And so on, all the examples. But there seem to be two separate identities, sky and cloud, water and water current, soot and lamp. But which one is dependent on which? Be clear. So just as they are distinct, similarly the self and the action are completely distinct. Self can be with karma or without karma, but karma cannot be without the self. Understand what we are saying here? So is the action distinct from the self, but this will happen only if ignorance allows them to be seen as distinct. So why are we seeing self and the action as separate? Why are we seeing east and west as separate? Because nobody told us any other way. Then when you come to Vedanta or the scriptures, they say, hey, there are 10 directions, but there is one space. Where are these directions? In the space. But are these directions, if you go into the space and be the space? Forget be the space, go out of the earth's atmosphere. Will there be these 10 directions? अरे यार मैंने कभी सोचा ही नहीं. No, it cannot be. Then you got day and night on the earth. Yes, distinct, too distinct. Come out into the space, no light, no sunrise and no sunset, no day and no night. अरे ये कैसे हो गया? How did this happen? Because you rose in your vision. You took a position of all encompassing. Exactly the same way. From the self point of view, nothing like action is there. Just like from the waker's point of view, there is nothing called dream. Hai, lekin hai. Nothing to be serious about. What about the wife there? What about the children there? Don't you have to take care of them? Don't you have to take care of their future? The child was just born in the dream, man. You have to do your duty. Tonight when you go, you have to continue to slog like a donkey to take care of your child, to make lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, to make sure that they succeed in their career. They become good human beings, that they get good samskar. Then tomorrow morning you come, Swamiji, I have a problem. What? The child which was there before, now that child was not there. It was some different child last night. Wife was also different. Husband was also different. Parents were also different. Now what do I do? This is what insistence does. This is where our mind is stuck. It is locked in. You know, like you throw the hook, the fish catches the hook and it's stuck. It invites its own misery. The moment we give validity to the multiplicity or duality, we are hooked. Coming to the scriptures means becoming convinced about the one as I. Becoming convinced that one reality alone is all that there is. And from its point of view, there is nothing called duty, there is nothing called past, there is nothing called future, there is nothing called memories, there is nothing called vasana, there is nothing called karma or karma phala. Karma and karma phala is only for the jiva. But jiva is essentially the atma. From atma point of view, you say, I am the witness, I am the sakshi. When that sakshi comes to know that he is one without a second, all over. So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is specifically making a point that from the self point of view, there can be no karma possible, there can be no karta possible, and there can be no karma phala possible. This karta, karma and karma phala, this is only in the phenomenal world. It is only for the jiva. Oh, it is for the jiva, so it is true, but jiva himself is a phenomena. Jiva himself is a phenomena. He is not permanent. Sometimes he becomes the waker, sometimes he becomes the dreamer, sometimes he becomes the sleeper, sometimes the father, sometimes the brother, sometimes the son, sometimes the husband. Continuously changing the jiva also. No, but soul is the same. Isn't the soul same? Continuous? It seems to be. When you consider yourself to be the soul, then this soul versus all other souls. Then this soul is teaching other souls. This soul is in competition with the other souls. Then this soul wants to show off more than the other souls. Then this soul wants to survive. This soul wants to achieve. This soul wants to liberate. But this whole story of liberation, the whole story of relinquishment, tyaga. Remember, tyaga is only for the one who is identified with the body. We told that before. Instruction to sannyasi is different. For him, there is no karma, there is no karma phala, and there is no karta. For who? For sannyasi. So this instruction that is being given in this verse is not for a sannyasi. These last few verses that were told, they were to the one who is identified with the body. Remember what topic we are studying. We are doing moksha sannyasa yoga. And Arjuna asked, what is the difference between a sannyasi and a yogi? And a tyagi. What is the difference between sannyas and tyag? And that explanation is going on. Don't forget the context. So karma phala tyag is not an instruction for a sannyasi. Karma phala tyag is the instruction given to one who is identified with the body. When he is identified with the body, what does he do? He performs karma because he becomes the karta because of the identification. And wherever there is a karta and a karma, there will be a karma phala. And this karta Instead of performing karma, he is more focused on the karma phala and thus gets anxious, gets into panic, gets into survival, gets into fear, and eventually it leads to greed. There is no, not, it's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough. Little bit more, little bit more, little bit more. Why is this happening? Because we have taken ourselves to be a jiva. We have taken ourselves to be this body. And the consequence of it, we take this world to be real, and therefore we feel the fulfillment is only possible by through this world. We forget, we become unavailable to put in the meeting ID and the password to the one constant principle. Like sometimes I am not very expert at these computers or other things. Basic understanding is there. But when I don't know, then I ask someone. And when they are telling me, I am understanding everything. But the moment they go away, again my mind is into a cloud. I can't understand. Arey yaar, I understood what they saying. It was very, very crystal clear. But afterwards, again it goes away. Again confusion. Which step I have to do this, then what? Same thing is our case. When we are giving lectures, when we are listening to lectures, Vedanta, everything is clear. Afterwards, again confusion. Because Jivatma Bhav is not gone yet. The doubt has not gone as regards who we are. Why did I ask someone's help? Because I took for granted that I am ignorant about computers. That it is very difficult, I'm now. This is young kids are so fatafat, they understand everything. But for me, I find, and we have repeated it so many times, and we have made it difficult for ourselves. Same thing we do with scriptures also. Hey, it is difficult. It is complicated. It is this. There are so many contradictions. Sometimes it says this, sometimes it says karma yoga, sometimes it says bhakti yoga, sometimes it says dhyan yoga, sometimes it says karma sannyas yoga, sometimes. What is it? Krishna, Bhagwan is purposely trying to confuse me or what? We don't want, because we are convinced it is difficult. When we look at the plethora of scriptures that are present in our Sanatan Dharma, you will go, oh my God, so much. Oh my God. Like once upon a time, I used to stay away from Panchadashi. I didn't want to approach it. It's too cutthroat and I don't know if I will understand or not. I didn't want to approach Amrit Anubhav. The book was there. Every time I will open the book, I will go to sleep because that's how it was in the early days. But then, as I became confident, no, I can understand. It is nothing difficult. It is only talking about the self from a different angle. Why can't I take that position and understand the way Jnaneshwar Maharaj is explaining? Why I have to think only by way I want to understand? No, I can take. For that, I have to let go of my individuality. I have to think from that person's, how Krishna Bhagwan is saying, how Adi Shankaracharya is saying, how Patanjali Maharaj is thinking, how Jnaneshwar Maharaj is thinking. Then that knowledge becomes yours. But if you say, oh, these are Mahatmas, I am a nobody, I am this, I am that, I am a foolish fellow, I am an ignorant fellow, then never possible. But if if our attention is on purification and our attention is on that unifying principle, then you will understand from any point of view. That is called maturity. But this will happen only if ignorance allows them to be seen as distinct. The incomplete knowledge, ignorance is equal to incomplete knowledge. When our attention is on incomplete knowledge on specific knowledge. When our attention is on specific knowledge, then multiplicity ensues, differences ensue, duality continues. Distinction between this and that continues. Why? Because of incomplete knowledge. Then how to gain complete knowledge? Focus on the one, contemplate on the one. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. What are we doing Shravanam about? About the one. What are the obstacles? How can one who is identified with the body come to the one? Karma phala sanga tyaga. Then karta bhav will also be dropped. Is there? So Bhagavad Gita is giving a solution. How to come to that one unifying principle, which is our essential nature. But to continue to hold on to the karma phala, the results, to continue to hold on to the doership, and wishing that I want to sit in meditation, I am the one without a second, it is nothing going to happen. You will be the most frustrated person on this planet. Then what is the solution? Solution is give up the karma phala, give up the karta bhav as a result of that, and come to be the one. So it is because of incomplete knowledge that the distinctions are seen in the oneness. This entire cosmos is one. But because of our incompleteness in understanding about ourselves, we see the distinctions. When we come to understand that we are that one, automatically all the distinctions will by themselves vanish. Continuing, the last 3 OVs, 2 OVs. Vikashek ravite upazavi Dhruti ali karavi bhogavi te sarovari ka baravi abjini jaisi pudata pudati atmakriya anya karana kachi taishya karupancha hi taya karana rupa. He says the lotus creeper blossoms and suggests thereby that the sun has risen and makes the bees enjoy the honey and honey of its flowers. In the same way, the embodied self performs actions for other reasons, which are 5 in number, and I shall describe them now. In the same way, the embodied self performs the action for other reasons. Now, what are those 5 reasons? Bhagavan is going to tell us, and Jnaneshwar Maharaj is going to give us a commentary. What are they? पंचैतानि महाबाहो पंचैतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध मे कारणानि निबोध मे सांख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सांख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणां सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणां पंचैतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध मे सांख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणां. Learn, O mighty armed Arjuna, from me these 5 factors declared in the Sankhya doctrine for the accomplishment of all works. Now here, this aspect, what is going to be told, is part of the Sankhya philosophy. What is Sankhya philosophy? Sankhya means number. Sankhya means number. What is number? 1. What is 1? Atma is 1. 2. What is 2? What is 2? Ishwar and Prakriti is 2. What is 3? Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar is 3. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is 3. Past, present and future is 3. Bhur, Bhuva, Swa is 3. What is 4? Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. The Antakaran is made up of 4. What is 5? The 5 great elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. 5. Like this, it goes on, the counts keep going on. You can do this experiment yourself. Take a pen and paper and start writing. What is 1? What is 2? All that you have heard till now. It will be very revealing for you. So in this verse also, he is not telling what is 5, but he is telling it is a part of the Sankhya doctrine. And Sankhya doctrine it concludes. Vedanta includes Sankhya doctrine to begin with, but then goes beyond the Sankhya doctrine. Yoga and Sankhya are one and the same. Who gave the Sankhya philosophy? Kapil Muni gave the Sankhya philosophy. He told it to his mother. See? And what is this in Sankhya philosophy? That kshetra kshetranya. That the spirit is other than the matter. Spirit is other than the matter. What does Vedanta say? One without a second. So we accept the philosophy of Sankhya, that spirit is separate to the matter. Initial stages, that is required till you come to the Anahat Chakra and to the Vishuddhi Chakra. Why? Even Agya Chakra. Agya Chakra is the Ardhanarishwar. Krishna, Radha, Shiva, Shakti, Ram, Sita. That is the Agya Chakra. There also duality is there. Purusha, Prakriti. See? So we accept that till that point. But then we have to go beyond. And to go beyond the Vedanta philosophy, if you can call it philosophy, then that vision is presented, where this separation between Purusha and Prakriti, that is also dissolved. And this is how Amrit Anubhav began, isn't it? Parama Shiva alone became the Shiva and Shakti. That one Brahman alone appears as Purusha Prakriti, meaning Ishwara and Prakriti, Ishwara and Maya. But we have to go beyond that. And in this Sankhya Shastra, they don't even say that it is that ultimate Ishwar Prakriti. They say it is one consciousness per person. There is one consciousness per person. And from that point of view, now that aspect, or how that one person is going to be successful, something like that, will be for the accomplishment of all works. How does he accomplish through these five? That will be told. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says here, where are we? What is the time? आणि पाचही कारणे तिये तू ही जाणसील विपाये जे शास्त्रे उभौ निवाहे बोलती तया ते वेदरायाचिया राजधानी सांख्य वेदांताच्या भुवनी निरूपणाच्या निशाण ध्वनी गर्जती जिये जे सर्व कर्म सिद्धी लागी इयेची मुद्दले हो जगी तेथ न सुआवा अभंगी आत्मराजू. He says, you might be knowing these five causes, for the scriptures had described them with appraised arms. They are proclaimed loudly through the beating of drums in the palace of the Sankhya system in the capital town of the Vedas. These causes are absolutely necessary for the successful completion of any action, but don't you in any way connect them with the unchangeable self. See what is Jnaneshwar straight away. The rules of engagement to be successful, where you are thinking of Purusha Prakriti, Purusha and Prakriti, the consciousness and the matter, and that is what we consider ourselves at this moment, that I am conscious and I have got a matter called the body. Consciousness and inertness. This unholy, impossible mixture of the two is called the jiva. Just like oil and water can never mix. Similarly, how can two absolutely diametrically opposite qualities come to mix with each other? But yet it seems to be there, isn't it? And that seeming expression is called the jiva. But it's okay. That's where we are at. These causes are absolutely necessary for the successful completion of any action. So these five causes are necessary for completion of any action, but you do not, O Arjuna or the seeker, ever consider these actions necessary for the self. What are you after? Are you after achieving something in the world? And now you want to achieve the self? Then you utilize those five ways of achieving anything in the world. You are trying to employ those techniques to achieve the self. But can you achieve the self? Is it an object to be achieved? And therefore the caution by Jnaneshwar Maharaj. What is that? But don't you in any way connect them with the unchangeable self. That these, another way to put it is, that these efforts that will be put, the causes that are by which we can achieve anything, is only at the Prakriti level. It has got nothing to do with the self. This is the second meaning. All efforts are always only at the equipment level, faculty level. Organs of action, organs of perception, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. That's well. The individual is also a product of the intellect. The individual, the I thought is coming from where? It's not coming from the spirit. The eruption of the I is in the intellect, and the eruption of the idam is in the mind. See? So therefore, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, do not take the aham idam story that is going on. It is at equipment level. Me, my child, my husband, my parents, my duty, my misery, my liberation, my realization, my sadhana. This is all going. My speaking, my listening, my alertness, my value giving, my attention, my all this. Where is it happening? Is it happening at the spirit level, or is it happening at the faculty level, equipment level? It's happening at the equipment level, isn't it? Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, don't mistake it to be the self. Self is separate from all this. All this is going on at the mind level, thinking, shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam. Where is it going on? At the mind and intellect level. Manasa Vacha Kaya. Manasa Vacha Kaya. Activities at the Manasa Vacha Kaya level, meaning mind, speech and body, are they happening in the spirit? No, they are not happening to the spirit. They are happening at the mind. Activity of the mind, Manasa. Activity of the speech, Vacha. Activity or movement at the body level, Kaya. It has got nothing to do with the spirit. If iron filings are coming close to the mother magnet and they start moving, where is the movement? Is the movement in the mother magnet, or is the movement in the iron filings? In the iron filings. Why are they moving? Can you say the mother magnet is invoking the movement in the iron filings? No, she is sitting where the mother magnet is, where it is. It has got nothing to do with the movement of the iron filings. Similarly, the spirit has got nothing to do with the movement, with the activity, with the thinking, with all those things that we just said. Success and failure. It is all at the equipment level. Continuing. ह्या बोलाची डांगुरटी तिये प्रसिद्धीची आली किरीटी म्हणवनी तुझ्या हन कर्णपुटी वसो हे काज आणि मुखातरी आई किजे तैसे कायसे हे ओझे मी चंद्रत्न तुझे असता हाती दर्पणू पुढा मांडलेया कालोकांचिया डोळया मानो द्यावा पहावया आपुले निके भक्त जैसेनी जेथ पाहे तेथ ते तेची होत जाये तो मी तुझे जाहालो आहे खेळणे आजी ऐसे हे प्रतीचे निवेगे देवो बोलतासे नेघे तव आनंदा माझी आंगे विरतसे येरू. He says here that these 5 causes have become well known in this world as they have been proclaimed by the beating of a drum. It is therefore meet that they should fall on your ears, as they will benefit you. If it is given in the Vedas, it will benefit us only, depending upon where we are. If you are doing Nirvikalpa Samadhi and here it is told, if you do these 5 and you will achieve everything you want, do you want to come back? Do you want to come back to do something in order to achieve something? You are getting into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You are transcended all doing. That's why you are getting into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Then why do you want to come back into the world? Naturally, the next step from Nirvikalpa Samadhi will be, how can I be in Nirvikalpa Samadhi 24/7? I don't want to make this Nirvikalpa Samadhi into a special event where I have to discard the world, come to the seat of meditation, close my eyes and dive into myself. Why can't I remain as the self? Whether my eyes are closed or I am in the world, it doesn't matter. That will be the natural logical step, isn't it? Logical step will not be, now I got Nirvikalpa Samadhi, now I got nothing to do with the world. I have recognized that I am the master of the world. Now I can get anything in the world. Okay? Let me invoke the lottery numbers. That, again, you are giving reality to the world. As you have the philosopher's stone as myself, why should I put you to the trouble of finding someone else to talk about it? Bhagwan is telling Arjuna that you don't have to go and look for a philosopher's stone. I am your philosopher's stone. I have answers for everything. If you rub yourself against me, in other words, if you expose your ears to what I have to say, things will click. Similarly, what is philosopher's stone for us? Our scriptures, the Guru Tattva, the ability to be available, the saints and sages. Keep thinking of them. And automatically, an unspoken calmness pervades our being. For no reason we become happy when we are in their presence. Everything is all right when we are listening to them or we are in their presence. Nothing is impossible. Nothing seems to be difficult. What is the philosopher's stone? Which makes iron into gold, isn't it? So what will be the philosopher's stone? That which makes ignorance into reality. Converts ignorance to reality. Incomplete knowledge into complete knowledge. Jiva bhav into Atma bhav. Atma sakshatkar. Why Atma bhav? Atma sakshatkar. The feeling of limitedness, feeling of I am conditioned, feeling of I was born and I die. The philosopher's stone will convert all these shortcomings within us into I am the infinite one. I have always been. There is no death and no birth for me. Not only thought level, direct experience. And that's what the Lord is saying, that, O Arjuna, you have me as your philosopher's stone, and why should I let you go and look for your another philosopher's stone? I will give you whatever is required to be given. As you have the philosopher's stone as myself, why should I put you to the trouble of finding someone else to talk about it? That is the compassion that the Lord is showing. Every Mahatma is showing that is having that compassion. He is waiting for a ideal student so that he can pour everything into that student. And Krishna has found one, Arjuna, so he is pouring it into him. If a person has the mirror in front of him, why should he ask others to tell him how he looks? If a person has mirror, then you are self-sufficient, isn't it? If you look into the mirror, you are self-sufficient to correct the shortcomings in your beard, in your hair style. Why would you ask someone else? When will you ask someone else? When you don't have a mirror in front of you. Now, where is the mirror in front of Arjuna? The Lord himself is the mirror. Another way of putting it. No example is complete. No worldly example is complete. And infinite, there are no examples. See? So he's saying, you are looking into me, you are looking at me, and what are you seeing? The mirror is revealing the true nature of Arjuna. Is he available? Is he available? Are we available? क्या हो गया time? Quickly, we'll discuss this next time. Wherever a devotee looks with a purpose in view, it becomes as he desires. So I have become a plaything in your hands. When the Lord was saying this in a flush of affection, he lost consciousness. As for Arjuna, he became immersed in bliss. So Bhagwan is having fun with Arjuna. And in that, Bhagwan is in meditation and Arjuna is also in meditation, is in bliss, listening to those words. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. बोलो कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय. And don't forget Saturday and Sunday 3:30 and 2:30. Hari Om.
Hariom Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om Prabhu.